good afternoon to you and welcome to EBN TV News at 1. It's such a pleasure to have you join us. It is the 23rd day of June 2023 and we are live from Nairobi, Kenya. My name is Victor Enzobeli and you can follow this bulletin on our social media pages at EBN TV or TV EBN. And now to kick off our bulletin this afternoon, the Labour Court on Thursday suspended the decision made by Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome to promote 514 police officers pending the hearing of the case challenging the procedure. There is infighting within the National Police Service Commission on the legality of the promotions made by Koome, with the chair, Eliud Kinuthia, nullifying the promotions. And now here is Cynthia Nanjala with the report.
In the case, Senator Okia Omtata and activist Michael Otieno challenged the promotions made by Inspector General of Police Japhet Koome, arguing that they are illegal. In his ruling, Justice Byram Ongaya suspended the promotion pending the hearing of the case. According to court order papers seen by EBN TV, the judge noted, and I quote, "Pending inter-parties hearing of this application, interim orders are hereby given staying the implementation of promotions affecting 514 police officers said to have unilaterally affected on June 5th in the National Police Service." Justice Ongaya further stated the implementation of the memo by Koome issued on June 9th, prohibiting police officers from applying to fill the 514 vacancies, is already advertised in the press by the National Police Service Commission. The court has also ordered the National Police Service to immediately convene a meeting of all parties in the case to amicably consider resolving the dispute. The judge said this will be within the NPS investigative, conciliation, mediation, and negotiation functions and powers envisaged, and a compromise may be recorded in court at the next mentioned date. The case will be mentioned on June 29th for further directions from the court. IG Koome had announced the promotions which saw General Service Unit Commandant Eliud Lagat, Deputy Director of the DCI Nicholas Kamwende, and Head of Investigations at DCI Abdallah Komesha promoted to the rank of Senior Assistant Inspector General of Police. On Monday, Law Society of Kenya President Eric Theuri faulted Koome for promoting the officers, saying the law does not allow him to make appointments or determine promotions in the police service. The LSK chair said Koome's actions amount to a serious violation of the Constitution, the National Police Service Act, and the National Police Service Commission Act, and is a ground for the removal of the Inspector General from office. Previously, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki had admonished Inspector General Japhet Koome and the National Police Service Commission Chairman Eliud Kinuthia following their public spat over police promotions.
Of unpleasant, untidy, derogatory messages between the leadership of the National Police Service and the leadership of the National Police Service Commission.
Kindiki termed the incident as gross misconduct and high-level irresponsibility by the two top-ranking police officials that could lead to their removal from office through a tribunal. Cynthia Nanjala, EBN TV.
Right now, Azimio Chief Principals, led by MNAC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua, have yet again announced the possible return of the weekly anti-government demonstrations. This follows the passing of the Finance Bill 2023 by the National Assembly. According to Azimio, the Kenya Kwanza government has failed to deliver its promises as the cost of living continues skyrocketing. Martha Karua has announced that Azimio will be holding a consultative rally on Tuesday next week at Kamukunji grounds in Nairobi before announcing their next course of action with regards to the Kenya Kwanza Finance Bill 2023.
The Ruto regime ensured that the wishes of the people were ignored. Instead, they retained punitive taxes on fuel, on housing, on turnover, on salaries, among others. This is like showing the people of Kenya the contempt card. The people can lament, plead, pray, and even picket to be listened to and still be ignored. This has never been seen in our country before. In the run-up to the voting on the finance bill, various polls showed that more than 90% of Kenyans rejected the finance bill. We have decided to invite Kenyans to a consultation at the Kamukuji grounds next Tuesday, the 27th of June at 10 a.m., where the next course of action will be decided. Whenever, as a people, we have come together, we have always found a solution, even to our worst problems. This time will be no different. We believe that in the end, it is the people's voices that will prevail. The only time we have suffered longer than we should is only when we have allowed dictators to rule longer than they should. And it is only when divide and rule succeeds. We must not let that to happen. The people can never be helpless in their own country against rogue leadership. Not in a democracy like ours.
Moving on, President William Ruto is currently attending a global finance summit in Paris, France, aimed at reimagining the global finance system and foster the creation of a more inclusive financial architecture. President Ruto considers the summit as an important platform to submit proposals towards a new multilateral climate finance institutional infrastructure.
But I am also aware that both Kristalina and Bangra have a job to do, and they have people they report to, called shareholders, and they don't have the final word. The final word rests with somebody else. And that is why we are almost all of us speaking the same language, because we seem to be on the same corner. There are people who are not sitting here, yet they call the shots. Now, we have a situation, and let me speak from the perspective of Kenya, our continent in Africa, and the global south. We need emergency liquidity. We need debt relief. We need urgently new money, with urgency, with scale. That's our situation. How are we going to get that in the current situation? Listening to Guterres this morning, we get development resources 8 times more expensively than others. We have inadequate resources, and it takes forever to access it. So, how do we, how do we make meaning of this summit that my brother Emmanuel has put together? Our position is that if you want to get debt relief, emergency liquidity, and new money together, let us live here having agreed on one thing, that, like Guterres has said, let's look for 500 billion new money. But if we are going to distribute it the way we did SDR, we will end up with nothing. SDR.
Right, moving on to other matters. Janet Baraza, spouse of Kakamega Governor, has issued a stern warning to health professionals selling essential equipment and medicine for cancer patients, causing them to suffer. In a speech during a free cancer screening exercise in Malava Hospital, Janet alleges that health facilities engage in corrupt deals and illicit sale of crucial equipment designated for the treatment of cancer victims. Mrs. Baraza urged parents to ensure their daughters undergo cancer screening and receive vaccinations as a preventative measure against the disease. She emphasized that any health worker found to be complicit in the corruption involving the sale of equipment and medications intended for cancer patients will face legal charges and may face termination from their employment.
Iliwa na Mheshimiwa Ayub Sabula ambaye ni naibu wake. Kwa hivyo
scrubs tumepewa na Africa Cancer Foundation pamoja na Matibabu Foundation. So wametusaidia ili madaktari wetu wanapokuwa wanatibu wagonjwa wao wamevaa mavazi mazuri ili wafanye kazi yao kwa njia mzuri. So I hope that the doctors, the medical workers who are going to receive the scrubs will use them effectively. Na pia ningependa kuwaambia health workers, tafadhali hizi scrubs ziuzwe popote. You sell one of them, you go with your job disappears, goes. So ndio maana tumeweka we have branded so that you don't sell them, because we know some of our health workers wanauza. I'm saying this openly ndio kila mtu ajue kwamba tusiuze scrubs. Hizi ni za kutumia katika hospitali, si za kutumia kwenda sokoni. Hospitali wakati tunatibu wagonjwa. I hope I'm clear. Yeah. So tumepewa na Africa Cancer Foundation plus Matibabu Foundation ambao ni health partners wanatusaidia katika kupigana na ugonjwa wa kansa. Ugonjwa wa kansa si uchawi. Tunaelewana? Especially cervical cancer and breast cancer and prostate cancer si uchawi. Na ugonjwa wa cervical cancer unaletwa na it is sexually transmitted. Bila ambavyo tunapata ugonjwa wa ukimwi ndio tunapata ugonjwa wa cervical cancer. So kama wewe unapenda leo uko Malava, kesho uko kwangu Matungu, siku nyingine uko Kakamega town, siku nyingine uko Webuye, utapata cervical cancer. Unaelewa kitu ninasema? Yes. Yaani wale wakurukaruka. Kusample, hata nataka kuwa na variety. Hiyo tuache. Because sampling to get variety ndio inaleta cervical cancer. Na cervical cancer inapata kina mama. But the virus that causes cervical cancer in women is the same one that causes breast cancer in men.
Now, youth have been urged to venture in hospitality industry, which is more marketable in Kenya today, as most of the Kenyans who are in the industry, most of them are self-employed or working somewhere. These were words of speakers at the graduation ceremony of 484 graduates in Utalii College, where 70% are already working, and in the graduation ceremony, investors gave 20 of them job opportunities. The Cabinet Secretary of Tourism, Penina Malonza, said the government has already put a funded capacity kitchen and planning to put more infrastructure in the facility to ensure more accommodations of learners in the institutions. Malonza added that they have reviewed diploma studies from 3 years to 2 years and certificate from 1.5 years to 1 year to ensure more youth hit the job market and according to international standards.
Kwa hivyo nimesema tuko na mkataba ambao tutaenda chini na tuandikiane vile tutakavyopeana hao waajiriwe mahali pale. Pia si hao peke yao, tumeona pia nchi ya Ulaya kama kule Europa wameweza kuweka mkataba ama ile tunaita MOU already with Kenya Utalii College, na wameweza pia kuajiri zaidi ya 250 kule na wanaendelea kuajiri. Kwa hivyo tunaona hii ni nafasi moja ambayo imefunguka kwa ajili ya wale wanaotoka college waweze kuajiriwa, na ningependa kusema hii ni moja ile tunaita mwelekeo mzuri na pia onyesho mzuri ya kwamba watu wanaamini Kenya na watu wanaamini Utalii College, kwa sababu haingefanyika. Mimi nimehudhuria graduation nyingi sana, lakini sijawahi sikia siku ya graduation ambapo employers wanajitokeza na wanaajiri watu.
The facilities we have here, they were created for that time. This is a totally different time, and therefore we need to then begin the process of looking at what needs to be done to these facilities so that they can be upgraded and be expanded, because they were created for a small number of students in those early years. Today we have in excess of 1,800 students for a facility that was created for 700 students. And therefore, we need to expand it. We need to modernize the laboratories. We need to expand the laboratories. We need to modernize the hotel. We need to modernize the software that we use to teach them with. And we need to expand the hostels so that it can accommodate more students going forward.
We joined Kenya Utalii College because here we work on programs where we guarantee them employment. Other than those who absorbed them, you've heard about the cruise ships. The challenges with the cruise ships have been some of our people do not have passports. That's something we're going to address with the relevant authority to ensure they have the necessary passports and necessary specialized training to grant them opportunities in the cruise ship industry. So there's a lot we're doing as an institution, as a council, and so we're supporting the management to ensure we deliver on the mandates. Finally, in supporting of the bottom-up economic transformation information, the demands of our graduates from the cruise is huge. We don't have the capacity in terms to churn them, all of them out. So we are having negotiations with some of the cruise ships to find ways of relaxing the terms so that the Kenya Utalii College can get people already in the market who are not trained, so that they can be trained here for some short courses, as well as, and then based on the approval or other.
Right now, the cooperative movement in the country has included blood donation as part of the activities leading to the celebration of International Cooperative Day. The Principal Secretary in Ministry of Cooperatives and Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Patrick Kilemi, said the target is to donate 2,000 pints of blood to the National Blood Reserve through the Kenya Tissue and Transplant Authority. MacLeod Malonzo, the chairman of Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, said donating blood to KTTA is a response to President William Ruto's calls to assist in the delivery of universal health care and part of social responsibility to the community.
Today is the cooperative movement as donating blood. This event is done annually to commemorate as we gear up to Shirika Day on 1st of July. You know, why this is important is that as a country, the World Health Organization recommends that we should have 1% of the population pint as blood reserve. That taking a population of about 52 million, as a country we should have 520,000 pints of blood in our bank. My appeal to all cooperators across the country is to donate blood from wherever they are. The ones in Nairobi to come here and donate blood, but from wherever you are, as a commemoration of Shirika Day, please go and donate blood to help meet the national target of 520,000 pints. We are enabling aggregation. Aggregation is coming together. Ideally, we are going back. You remember the core of the nation on independence was Zarambe, for people to come together. This government, we have looked at the productive aspect of our nation, because of our small nature of our people. The only way we can be feasible, we can be viable, productive unit is that if people come together. So as a cooperative movement, we are bringing all the value chains. We are aggregating all the value chains to cooperatives so that we are viable, feasible, productive unit in production, in marketing, and also in savings.
As cooperative movement through CAK Cooperative Alliance, we are encouraging cooperators to come and donate blood so that we can also save lives and also encourage our members. So this is our social responsibility to the community for the support they have continued to give us in the movement. So we want to make our country to support the Kenya Kwanza manifesto in terms of the universal health by making available blood to the population.
Now, authorities in Laikipia County have impounded bang worth 600,000 shillings street value and arrested the suspected dealer. Laikipia County Commissioner Joseph Karniri, speaking to the press on Thursday, revealed they arrested the suspect, identified as Kelvin Masharia Gadia, through a string operation which later led the police officers to his rented house in Mthaiga Estate, where the narcotics were being hidden. The county commissioners say the suspect, who is being held at Nyanyuki police station, will face charges at the court of law.
Kama jana wameweza kushika bangi misokoto 583 yenye dhamana ikikadiriwa ya Raki600, na kuna ile bado ilikuwa haijatengenezwa kwa kiwango cha kuvuta, akiwepo jamaa mmoja sugu wa kuuza hizi madawa anaitwa Kelvin Mwai. Yeye na wengine ambao wanafanya hii kazi ya kuuzia vijana madawa, siku zao zinadidimia kwa sababu tutawafuata mahali wako. Aidha waache hiyo biashara na kufanya biashara inayokubalika na sheria, ama wakubali kuishi maisha yao jela kwa mujibu wa sheria wa nchi hii. Tungependa kuwaonya vijana dhidi ya kutumia haya madawa, na tunawaonya wale wanafanya hii biashara haramu, siku zao zimedidimia, na askari wetu tunawapongeza kwa hii kazi wanaoifanya. Tutazidi kuwashika wengi na kuwapeleka kotini. Kazi hii tunaifanya kwa pamoja na county government yetu ya Laikipia, na county government ina jukumu ya kisheria na jukumu ambayo wanatekeleza pamoja, na jukumu ambao tutashirikiana nao tuifanye kisawasawa kuona kwamba tunadhibiti mauzo ya pombe.
Now, at least 200 workers on contract at the troubled Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA, will be rendered jobless from July 1st, 2023, after the conclusion of a 2-week audit ordered by the new board. Announcing the decision to KEMSA staff on Thursday, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Service Felix Koskei said the audit is to rationalize operations at the institution, which has been riddled with graft cases. Koskei said government will conduct such audits in public institutions with a view of reducing the ballooning wage bill, which continues to gobble up over 60% of the cash allocated to the national government.
As a child, it is important we should be kept safe from much emergencies. This is why we appreciate the child emergency response measures set by the Department of Children's Services and all collaborating partners in the protecting of lives of children like me.
And therefore prioritization of child protection needs in health crises is very important.
For us to be able to really provide our services adequately, we need a strong and available workforce, and we are looking at the children officers on the ground, we are looking at the social, that every child.
Now allow us to take a short break. We'll be right back with more updates.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Our prayer is our communication to the Father, relating to Him about the happenings in our lives and in our world that require changes according to His will. The Bible says in 1 John chapter 5 verse 14, "This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to His will, He hears us." The Lord Jesus has given us the authority to use the name of prayer. So we stand in His place without restraint to pray to the Father. Why wait until things get worse before you start praying? It's time to pray for your country. It's time to pray for Christians all over the world. It's time to sponsor the gospel on TV around the world.
This month of June, we have the Global Day of Prayer. Friday the 23rd into Saturday the 24th this June.
Join us in transmitting the June edition of the Global Day of Prayer with Pastor Chris on terrestrial stations in your city.
Welcome back. You are watching EBN TV News at 1 with me, Victor Enzobeli. Now, prior to the break, we had a video mix-up, and that particular story was about the Ministry of Labour and Social Protection launching an operational guideline for child protection in emergencies to address specific needs of children during emergencies. Now more of that in our next bulletin at 4 p.m. Now to our next story. DJ Evolve, who was allegedly shot by Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino at a Nairobi club in 2020, has now told the court that he did not see the legislator with a firearm on the said day. DJ Evolve, real name Felix Arinda, spoke while giving his testimony on Thursday as a defense witness in a misuse of firearm a case against the Member of Parliament. While testifying virtually from his bed, the DJ said he does not know what happened to him as he only found himself in an ambulance.
Bullet that injured you came from Babu Owino's gun, you will not know.
I can't really say, because I was speaking 1 minute and the next I'm in a vehicle to hospital. I don't know what happened.
Giving your testimony today, have you been coerced in any way? Forced?
Still within the corridors of justice, lawyers in the country have recommended that cases of extrajudicial killings be heard and decided within 3 years, and if there are appeals, they should be heard and decided within 1 year. The Lawyers Association has called on the relevant authorities to stop the killings and also protect those who defend human rights. This comes barely 7 years since lawyer Willie Kimani was brutally murdered, and the court having served justice to the affected families in February this year.
Of the Fourth Estate. This morning we began by a peace walk from the Supreme Court to the Milimani Law Courts, and basically this is the commencement of a commemoration that we have dubbed the Purple Ribbon Week, and we intend to hold this annually to commemorate the lives of our colleagues that were lost in the line of duty, as well as those who have disappeared mysteriously and are yet to be found. So far, we have about 6 members of the Law Society who have lost their lives in the line of duty, and we're saying that this should come to an end. It should be no more a case of police brutality, threats, harassment against lawyers who are simply doing their duty, discharging their duty, representing clients, representing the society. As I said about 2 months ago, we are 2 sides of the same rope. So really, we shouldn't be pulling in different directions. The police, just like ourselves, are representing the society, and we are here to ensure that justice is done. And so today we start this
for her warm words, and I'm very grateful to the Law Society of Kenya for organising this march in memory of Willie Kimani, Josephat Mwenda, Joseph Muyuri, and many others who have lost their lives in the battle for justice. And so we're grateful for being invited to this event, and it is our delight at International Justice Mission to take part and to support it. We are very much an organisation who wants to work to help to strengthen public justice systems to the point where they protect their people who are vulnerable. So in Kenya, there is sometimes an excessive use of violence. This cannot happen, and it is so important to protect those who want to do their jobs and to do them well. And so we will continue to work with our partners here and to work with the Law Society of Kenya and with others until, in the end, it becomes a place where the public justice system strengthens those who are made vulnerable by poverty to violence. And so we are grateful to all our partners who are here and all those who work with us. Thank you very much.
And now let's go beyond our borders. This is an astonishing tale that has sent shockwaves through the maritime world. In a harrowing turn of events, the deep sea expedition to the iconic Titanic wreck has taken a terrifying twist. Just moments after OceanGate's Titan submersible lost all contact, the United States Navy has made a bone-chilling revelation, and sounds consistent with the implosion were detected, plunging the fate of the 5 souls aboard into uncertainty. The colossal search mission that followed confirmed the loss of minivan-sized submersible owned and operated by the private company OceanGate Expeditions. Indeed, that was very horrifying. If you don't know what exactly took place, let me maybe keep you updated on what exactly transpired earlier this week when 5 individuals, 5 billionaires to be precise, billionaires because they spent at least between $200,000 to $250,000 each. Now when you convert that into Kenyan shillings, it converts between 28 million to 35 million Kenyan shillings to go underwater, and that is just what they did. And they adventured into the deep sea using a submarine, and within days all communication was lost and they could not be reached. And now there were news updates within the social media and mainstream that perhaps they could be rescued, but that was not to be, as the US Navy just revealed that they had an implosion. Implosion is basically when the pressure from outside explodes, collides the submarine from inside. It's basically the opposite of explosion when it takes place from within, but this time it comes from outside, and therefore you can imagine what those poor souls had to go through that particular period. But now that is up. All from the news desk. Thank you very much for making time to join us this afternoon. It's been such a pleasure. We will keep you updated with more current affairs at exactly 4 p.m. with the Swahili Bulletin with Emmanuel Marwa soon after 7 p.m. Still the same. And at exactly 9 p.m. tonight, we'll be joined with Sami Adika for the EBN Prime Edition. That is all from me. My name is Victor Enzobeli. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and the start of your weekend.
From Nairobi, Kenya, this is EBN TV.